problems where you have to compare job costing or traditional costing with ABC. So we take a look at the requirements first. Outline two differences between traditional costing approaches and activity-based costing techniques. And B, determine the bid price for product 427 using machine hours to apply overheads. Okay, once you see this part here, what it's talking about would be job costing. Determine the bid price of product 427 using activity-based costing to apply overheads. Okay, so you have to do both job costing and activity-based costing on the same data. Okay, now start to read the question. Lucas Limited decided to respond to a request for proposal RFP recently published in the media for the supply of product 427. The accountant gathered the following data pertinent to the preparation of a competitive field bid. Direct materials 50,000, direct labor 1,500 hours, costing $35,000. The number of orders 25, number of inspections 50, machine hours 2,400, and number of kilowatt hours 7,000. Traditionally, so this is telling us about the job costing here. The company uses a predetermined overhead rate based on machine hours. So that will be based on this 2,400 hours here to apply overheads. The markup on all jobs is 15%. The additional data, the company has 4 categories of overheads as follows. Aside we have the overhead costs, and here we have the activity driver or the cost driver and the quantity, the number of times. Okay, so the inspection overhead is 430,000, ordering costs 80,000, power 780,000, and maintenance $350,000 respectively. So that what you have here is these 4 cost pools totaling these amounts here. When you add all of these together, you will get your total overhead costs. Okay, on this side we have the activity driver, the quantity, number of inspections 215,000, number of orders 50,000, kilowatt hours 500,000, and machine hours 200,000. Okay, now these here that is seen on this is for the entire year. This is not just for job 427. So what you do is you take these and you calculate the rates, and then you apply them, apply the rate to job 427. Okay, first let us look at part E. Okay, so the two differences, traditional costing uses total cost, whereas AVC uses cost per activity. We saw that in the PowerPoint presentation yesterday where we had three differences presented. There are more than that, and you could find some of them in chapter 6 of your textbook. Traditional costing uses a predetermined overhead rate POHR to apportion overhead, while ABC uses an activity rate. Now, this POHR here could be plant-wide, as in the case of this problem here, or it could be departmental-wise. Okay. Now, the first thing when we move to part B, we have to do is calculate the POHR before we could calculate the job costs for the bidding. Okay, so we'll back up a bit and look at the information we have for the POHR. The company uses a predetermined overhead rate based on machine hours to apply overheads. The markup on all jobs is 15%. So we get the machine hours. This is for job 427, so we wouldn't be taking this one here. The one we will be taking is the machine hours here, 200,000 for the whole year. Okay, and we back up here, we get the total overhead costs over here by adding down these. Okay, these are the estimated figures. From these, you are going to calculate the POHR. So the POHR would be equal to 1640 over 1,640,000 divided by 200,000. Okay, the 1,640,000 is the total of this here, the overhead cost, and the 200,000 comes from here. So we get 820 per machine hour. Okay. Now we can do the bidding. The direct materials is given as 50,000. Direct labor 35,000, and the overheads for the job using job costing would be 2,400 by the 820 we just calculated, giving you a total of 1,680. Okay, so if we back up a bit, we'll see where we got the 2,400 from. Machine hours 2,400 for job 427 or product 427. Okay. When we using job costing, notice it didn't use this to cost it. Right, so we got the 2,400 by 820 equal 19,680, and we add these three, we'll get the total cost. Then we have 15% markup. Okay, now you have to look at this 15% carefully. If it says markup, well, then you could just mark up this figure by 15%. Okay, if it says it's gross margin, then you will have to take 115%. Okay, or you'll have to calculate the when you calculate the cost down here, You minus this back, minus this, then to get this. Okay. Right, is the difference between the markup and the margin. So you have to look out for that sometimes in the pricing of the job. The next step or the next part of the question wanted the bid price of product 427 using activity-based costing to apply overheads. 12 marks. First, as usual, you have to go through those 4 steps. You calculate the activity rates for each activity, and then you can apply these to the job. Okay, so let's back up a bit and look at the table with the rates. Be coming from here. This is the overhead cost for inspection, and this is the number of inspection. So if you want to find the rate per inspection, you have to divide this by this. And same thing with ordering. You take the number of orders and you divide the cost by it to get the activity rate. Power and machine hours, we do the same. What you will notice though is that this POHR that we calculated here is also a rate using the machine hours, but we do not use this in the as an activity rate because it is not an activity. Right, so ordering costs would be 80,000 divided by 50,000 equal 150 per order. Inspection 430,000 divided by 215,000 equal $2 per inspection. Maintenance 350,000 divided by 200,000 equals $1.75 per machine hour. Power 780,000 divided by 500,000 kilowatts equals $1.56 per kilowatt hour. Notice these are always stated in per something. Okay, and this here should be the cost pool or the cost driver. We put that into the other information and we'll get the price of the bid price using activity-based costing. So the direct materials remain the same, direct labor is the same, and then we have the overheads here being a portion according to usage. Orders 25 by 160, where we getting the 25, 50, 2400 from is back up right up to here. And they are here, right? This is for job 427 that we are doing the bid for. Okay. Notice we do not come back and use these here. Otherwise, we will get for the whole year. We would not get for the job. Right, direct materials. This table is a bit smaller. I hope you all have seen it. Direct materials 50,000. Direct labor 35,000. The orders was 25 by 160 is the rate we just calculated. We'll get $40. Inspection 50 by 200. Sorry, $2. We'll get $100. Maintenance 2400 by 175, 4200. And power 7,000 kilowatts by 156. It was 10,920. The total cost 100,260. And we can compare this with the job costing that we just did here. Right? Where the bid price was 104,000. The cost was 104,680. Okay, so it's $4,000 more. And the markup on it, 15,034, give you a bid price of 115,299. So this is almost, or just under 5,000 less than the traditional costing using job costing. Right, so that is because the activity-based costing is much more efficient in this distribution here. We did one POHR for the job costing. We use 4 different ones here. So this is much more refined. Okay, and you're getting a more exact figure, more accurate in calculating the total cost. Okay, so that would bring us to the end of this question, an activity-based question. We'll continue. If you have any questions on this one,